I think farts are really funny. I am obsessed with, I have like, what do you call it, scatological sense of humor. And I don't know, I just think anything related to like farts is so funny. Every time, I'll laugh every time. A good fart joke or, I don't know, an awkward fart moment. Even shit. I think shit's funny too sometimes. Well, I toured for 2 years. So 2008, 2009, I was on the road fully, like the whole years, which I don't think most artists do. I think on their first record, it's not a full 2 years. But it was really important to me to secure like a real fan base, and the demand was there. So I was like, I'm gonna keep doing shows until they don't want me to keep doing shows. So I did a lot of touring, and then I went and I climbed Kilimanjaro at the beginning of 2010, which was big. It was a big mountain, and I did that, and then it was to raise awareness for the clean water crisis, and we filmed a documentary, and it was organized by Kenna, who's also a musician, but it was like with Jessica Biel and Lupe Fiasco and Emile Hirsch and Isabel Lucas, and then Kit Kennedy and some people from the UN and some people who know about the water crisis to sort of educate us while we're doing it. So that was like huge. And then we went to Ethiopia to visit a refugee camp with refugees from Somalia where they didn't have any water. And then I flew straight from Ethiopia to LA to go work with Switch on the beginning of my new record. So needless to say, it took a minute to sort of wind down into the process, but also I think something that I learned right early on in the recording, in the beginning of recording, was that I was wrong to have expectations. You know, I had expectations going into the second record that I knew what to expect. I thought that it was going to be the same process as the first time. I thought I was going to work with the same people and it was going to go the same way. And I learned, you know, in the first couple months that it was totally not going to be the same. And so it kind of got me down for a second because I was like, well, I don't know what to do. But as soon as I said, okay, well, I don't know what to do, then it was easy. Then I started working with new people, got fresh energy. I worked with Nick Zinner right away, and then we just started doing writing, and then it just felt fresh and light and fun and no pressure. And neither of us brought any baggage to the situation, and it was just really great. And that's when I really felt like, okay, now I'm getting started. I feel like somebody just stole something from me, but maybe I'm just imagining. Stolen. Oh, I just walked outside last week, not even a full week ago, and I was late to somewhere. I was supposed to go do a radio interview, and I walk outside, and half my car is missing. Like someone stripped my car in the middle of the night. The whole back window pane, like the back windshield, missing. The entire casing that like lifts it up, missing. The racks on top of my car had been meticulously unscrewed and removed. It was amazing. Yeah, that was last week.
It would have been easy just to steal the whole car.
Oh my God, yeah. They like opened it up. They didn't take, luckily I didn't put my new CD because I'm sure those people, that's what they really wanted. But yeah, it was pretty crazy, really violating. I don't know, you can never say stuff like that, you know, why stuff like that happens. Maybe because it was still sort of new, the sound was kind of new and the radio format didn't know what to do with it. Maybe because it wasn't set up properly. Maybe because some people didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, you don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad if you feel like they're #1 singles, then that's really what matters. Like, as long as people remember them, like, you know, important songs in their lives, I think that's what really you make the music for, you know, not whether or not they're, you know, #1 singles, all that stuff. As long as people are actually connecting with the music and I have real fans, then that's kind of what the point is. You can't let other people dictate whether or not something's a success, and especially as the artist making the music, like, never let that enter your internal conversation, or else the music won't be good anymore, you know? It's kind of paralyzing. You have to just be true to yourself, make the music that you want to make, and then hope that people like it, you know? Well, that's a hard question because I do talk to animals all the time. I live with a dog named Bo, who's a Great Dane, and he's a puppy. He's the most adorable thing in the world, and I talk to him all the time, and I feel like he really understands, and we communicate. But also, I believe in spirit animals, and I believe that each of us has like an animal that we're really in tune with, and you know, just from like old Native American, the whole belief system of different animals come around to give you different energy and stuff like that. So I'm not going to tell what my spirit animal is, but I do know, and I do draw from, I learn from that animal in particular. It's interesting. Sometimes things happen too, like, you know, I've had somebody tell me, oh, you need elk energy right now because you need to, you know, to find some strength and stamina because you're working so hard and you're feeling weak. And then I'll be driving through like the mountains, like on a snowboard trip, and then all of a sudden like an elk just jumps in front of the car and just stands there and stares in the car. Like you gotta wonder, stuff like that. You know, you're like, wow, that really just happened. You know? That's not the answer you were looking for. I'm definitely not like the cookie cutter artist, that's for sure. I'm really particular about like every detail of, you know, the artwork and how definitely like, you know, when it comes to the mastering, the mixes, the font placement, like I am really meticulous, and I'm sure that can be annoying, but I think overall most people respect it because at the end of the day, I think the art shows how much I care about it, and I think that a lot of times things are better for the amount of attention I pay to them. So I think that mostly, I mean, it might be a little bit hard to deal with, but I think people have respect for it at the same time. What I do know is I know myself really well, so I know what I'm willing to do and what I'm not. And I think a lot of artists might not know that, so, you know. I also probably, like, just as I've grown with experience, I don't really care if people see me as difficult or crazy anymore. Like, I just am like, I'm not saying that people always do, but like that's a label that gets thrown around a lot, especially for women in the industry. I think when you have a firm opinion about what you want and a very clear vision that you're not willing to compromise, it's just very easy to be like, oh, she's difficult, she's crazy, she's this. As long as it comes out like I like it, you can call me whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I just stick to what I know I want, and then go from there. 4 legs. I don't know. I just think of like what you can do with 4 legs versus what you can do with 6 arms, right? If you have 6 arms, you could be kind of a busybody doing like lots of things that like might need to be done, and you know, you can get a lot of stuff done, but it seems like very like task. Like I can brush my teeth and write a paper and do this and do that. But if you have 4 legs, you can just go. You know what I mean? You can just run and just run and run and run and just, I mean, you can stand up really tall and like have a different perspective. I don't know, it just seems more fun. I think about like horses and dogs and lions, you know? It seems kind of fun. It really is changing. It's the super producer era, you know? So back in the day, pop music was Prince, pop music was the Police, pop music was, I mean, there's so many things that were like great pop music. And now pop music is, if it's written by this person or that person who writes all the hits, and if it's produced by this producer or that producer, there's about 2 or 3 of them, then it's a guaranteed hit, and we'll play it on the radio. You know, instead of like listening to the song, they're like, who produced it? Oh, if it's by this person, we'll play it on the radio. You know, and those people are like, I've had somebody tell me like, well, if you want a hit on the radio, like you have to use these chords. They work every time. And it's like, really? Like then I don't want a hit on the radio, you know, because that's really boring. And I think that's pretty much ruining pop music. You know, it's not, people keep quoting me that I'm like, I don't like pop music. I love pop music when it's good music. I love music that's accessible, that everyone, you know, can relate to. And, you know, there's been great pop music in the past. And there's an occasional great pop song now, you know. But overall, I think it's just been really watered down, and I think it's not good for music. It's not good for the world. I don't know. I didn't pick this profession, honestly. It picked me, and I tried really hard not to have to be like at the forefront of it. Like, I mean, I started trying to work at a record label, and then I tried to write songs for other people, and then I tried to like write songs, but then I was like, but I'm never gonna perform. I don't know. I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't think I'd be happy doing anything else. I think some of the things about it are difficult for me, but I think that we've created a cultural environment where it really is unnatural, how people treat people in the spotlight. I don't think that anybody's really comfortable with it, whether they pretend they are or not. It's absolutely unnatural to be like analyzed under a microscope the way that they do some people. I mean, they do it to everybody, but like the degree that some people get it is crazy. And then you kind of turn into a freak. I mean, look at people. Like, it's so, you know, not okay to just look natural, to the point where like people are tweeting people, you know, when they wake up in the morning, and it's like blasphemy. They're like, oh my God, she's so ugly. Like, look how she looked when she woke up in the morning. Like, that's insane. How do you look when you wake up in the morning? And anyway, like, what is it so bad to look like somebody that doesn't have makeup on and be natural? You know, it's just like, yet if you do it, they'll tear you apart, you know? And it's really, we want to live in a world like that where normal is like implants and like fake everything, fake butts, fake lips, fake nose, like that's normal. We got to ask ourselves a question about that. And that's really, I mean, no one's comfortable with that, which is why everyone's, you know, becoming not real. And that's what we want. The whole thing right now is creating these sort of like false realities that you're calling reality. I mean, that's what like Facebook and Twitter and everything. I'm doing this. I'm so funny. I'm so fun. I'm so important. I know such cool people, but really you're on the computer all the time and you're not even like living your life. It's like everything you see, you're like, let me set this up to make it look like I'm cool. And it's just like, that's not cool. I don't think that's cool. I don't know. A lot of people will disagree with me, but I don't think that's cool. And I don't think that's fun. Obviously, it is fun to a lot of people. Maybe I just don't belong here. Oh, I don't know. Hopefully not as long. I mean, it's like apparently a really big deal to take 4 years. But I can't promise anything, you know. When I have something to say and it's exactly right, then you'll be back here.
Thank you.